I'd like to share the image of Shakyamuni Buddha. This one is from Bodh Gaya, from the stupa in Bodh Gaya, which is a really holy place. And it's often very difficult to get into this spot because there's usually many groups of pilgrims there. So it's quite a beautiful statue. All right, so let's get started. Settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. So Mary, I'm going to try and chant this morning, but please just let me know if it's not working. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then we'll go to just regular recitation. All right, thank you. Okay. All right. So just settle in. For most of us here, I don't think there's anyone there from Australia, so most of us here are moving in to our day. And if you're sitting at your desk, have your feet flat on the floor. Really try and get a sense of the whole foot on the floor. So we don't really realize or appreciate how valuable our feet are until they're not really working anymore. But they're very important in relation to our hips, for example. So love your feet a little. Try not to squash them into horrible shoes. And right now, just imagine, feel the sole of the foot, the heel, the side, and the big toe mound and the little toe mound and all your toe pads. And have your knees about a hip's width apart. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. Now imagine this spine, long, like pearls, strong, made of light. And just lengthen the spine. And then you can also, if this is available to you, try and align your ears with your shoulders. So it might mean you might have to lengthen a little bit more and just allow your ears, your head to kind of glide back into place. So the further forward our head is out of alignment with the rest of our body, the heavier it becomes. The more weight you're asking your shoulders and neck to deal with. So if you're aligned, it's just a lot easier for the body. Also, according to my chiropractor, when your head is constantly poking forward, and we are now a forward-facing, downward-facing society, particularly with all our phones, it actually damages the brain. I don't know the physiology of that. I suspect it's got to do with blood flow. Anyway, so reasons to be aligned, not just because that's how you're supposed to sit in meditation. It's physiologically better for you, healthier for you. So bring your attention to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes and the nose and the cheeks. Just let that area around your mouth relax. Relax the jaw, the back of the head, the back of the neck. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat. And just feel your chest relaxing and the belly and all of your limbs. Take a nice deep breath. And be aware of any sounds that might be in your environment. Try not to have the mind follow. So particularly those of you who are living with pets or people or both, you know, the mind, any excuse to kind of run off, oh, what was that? Just keep the mind on the breath. Notice the sensations of the air. as you're inhaling and exhaling. And notice the thoughts that are arising. So you may have things to do today. Just keep a nice boundary around this next, what have we got now? 24 minutes. Notice the thoughts that are coming. And all the things you have to do today, all the people you have to interact with. Maybe you feel totally together and on track, maybe you don't. Whatever, just allow the thoughts to arise and abide without judgment, without criticism. And then allow them just to dissipate and just watch as an observer, just curious about what's there. And then bring to mind all the people who you love, all the ones you don't, and everybody in between, all the strangers. And remembering they can change place. That relationship that you have with that person you don't like, maybe it was your cousin when you were little, and then all of a sudden they're your best friend. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So this Buddha, actually I like this image because it's actually a photograph of a framed picture. And I like this very much because it looks kind of ethereal to me. And so you imagine this Buddha in front of you made of light, transparent, intangible, and radiant at the level of your forehead and between 6 and 8 feet away is this large golden throne. And it's kind of got it covered in jewels and supported at each of its 4 corners by a pair of snow lions. And these animals in actually are manifestations of bodhisattvas. And they have white fur and a green mane and tail. So for those of you who've been to Kopan Monastery, there's 2 of these lions sitting at the entrance to the Gompa. They're made of cement and painted. So what you would imagine here is also these snow lions made of light. And on the surface of the throne is a seat consisting of a large open lotus and 2 radiant discs, and they represent the sun and the moon, and they're on top of each other, and these 3 objects together symbolize the 3 principal aspects of the path to enlightenment. So the lotus represents renunciation, the sun represents emptiness, and the moon represents bodhicitta. And sitting upon these is the Buddha, who has attained these realizations and is the embodiment of all enlightened beings. His body is of golden light, and he's wearing the saffron robes of a monk. And just imagine the robes don't exactly touch his body, they're sort of floating above it. And he's, away from it. And he's seated in the full Vajra or full lotus posture, each foot crossed over the opposite thigh. The palm of his right hand rests on his right knee. The fingers are touching the moon cushion, and this signifies his great control, and specifically his control over his delusions. So we all have them. Every time you feel angry at someone, it's kind of a delusion. His left hand is in his lap, and is holding a bowl filled with nectar. This is the medicine for curing all our disturbing thoughts, our disturbing states of mind, and any other hindrances. And so, you imagine if you've ever done any of these kind of classes, Andy Weber goes around and teaches, and you may have learned how to draw the Buddhas in another way from another person or from a book. But if you look at the actual lines, the grids, this is all based on the texts, many ancient texts. They're all extremely, it's just symmetrical. You feel like you're doing geometry when you draw these Buddhas. It's kind of extraordinary. Every single piece of, every single feature of the Buddha's face has an angle. It's specific. And what it ends up is extremely beautiful. So imagine Buddha's face this way. And his smiling, compassionate gaze is directed at you and simultaneously towards all other sentient beings without judgment. He has no critical thoughts. And he accepts you exactly as you are, exactly as you're turning up this morning. His eyes are long and narrow. They're shaped like lotus petals. His lips are red, and the lobes of his ears are long, and his hair is blue-black, and each hair is individually curled to the right, not mixed with the others, and every feature of his appearance represents an attribute of his omniscient mind. And rays of light emanate from every pore of Buddha's holy body and reach every corner of the universe. And these rays are actually composed of countless, countless tiny, tiny Buddhas, some going out to help living beings and others dissolving back, having finished their work. So it's kind of active, very active visualization in front of you. So really try and feel the living presence of this holy being. You can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And recall these qualities of Buddha. And also recall Buddha's, willingness to help you. So make a request from your heart to receive his blessings to help you become free from any negative energy, misconceptions, and other problems, and to receive all the realizations of the path to enlightenment. And just imagine your request is accepted. And now imagine a stream of purifying white light, which is in the nature of the enlightened mind. And it flows from Buddha's heart and enters your body through the crown of your head. So you just imagine the moment, as we do in the evening with Vajrasattva, the moment you go into a room and you flick on that switch, the light instantly dispels the darkness. The same here. The moment the light from Shakyamuni Buddha's heart kind of touches your heart, all the darkness of your negative energy is dispelled. So imagine it just flows into your body. And I'll say this prayer. I'll just do this one once. To the Guru, Founder, Bhagawan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni Buddha, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. Please grant me your blessings. So I'll try chanting. If it doesn't work, I'll have to work on my microphone. Om Taya Chao Muni Muni Ma So Tata Om Muni Muni Ma Muni So Tata Om Muni Muni Ma Muni So Tata. Tata Om Muni Muni Ma Muni Swaha. So really feel that all your negative energy, your problems and subtle obscurations have been completely purified and your body feels blissful and light. And concentrate on this for a minute or two. Completely purified. Now imagine a stream of golden light this time, descending from Buddha's heart and flows into your body through the crown of your head. And the essence of this light is the excellent qualities of Buddha's pure body, speech, and mind. And you can just imagine he can transform his body into different forms, animate, inanimate, and inanimate, in order to help living beings according to their individual needs and particular states of mind. And with his speech, he can communicate different aspects of the Dharma simultaneously to beings of various levels of development and be understood by them in their respective languages. And his omniscient mind sees clearly every atom of existence and every occurrence, past, present, and future. Excuse me. And he knows the thoughts of every living being. Such is his awareness at every moment. And for us, this might sound, a bit otherworldly. Like, how is this possible? But you may have known, teachers or lamas or heard about or heard of, beings with this similar kind of capacity. And you might also notice in yourself as you do your practice and do your purifications, do your meditation, your mind is changing. So if you look back at where you've come from, maybe 5-10 years ago, it's not just about maturation, but also about your practice. So the mind can change, the mind can develop. So it is possible that you could reach that same state that Shakyamuni Buddha reached. And he was an ordinary human being. He was a prince, but he was human. He just worked on himself. So just imagine that these good qualities from Shakyamuni Buddha flow into every part of your body. And we'll just recite the mantra again. We can just recite it verbally without chanting. And just feel blissful as you're reciting. Imagine this light, good qualities flowing into you. Tayata Om Muni Muni, Maha Muni Esfaha. Tayata Om Muni Muni, Maha Muni Esfaha. Tayata Om Muni Muni, Maha Muni Esfaha. Really feel you've actually received all of these excellent qualities of Buddha's holy body, holy speech, and holy mind. And imagine your body feeling light and blissful. Now imagine the 8 snow lions absorbing into the throne into the lotus, and the lotus into the sun and the moon. And they in turn absorb into the Buddha, who comes to the space above the crown of your head, melts into light, and dissolves into your body. And your ordinary sense of I, unworthy and burdened with faults, and all your other wrong conceptions disappear completely. And in that instant, you become one with the Buddha's blissful, omniscient mind, the aspect of vast empty space. So just allow yourself to meditate for another minute or two. Just feel like your mind is expanding. Now, imagine from this space where you are, sort of this empty state, and there appears in the place where you're sitting the throne, the lotus, the sun, and the moon. And upon this, yourself as the Buddha. And everything is in the nature of light. So this is very important to remember. Exactly as you had visualized in front of you. Feel this light body now. So feel that you are the Buddha and try and identify with this enlightened wisdom and compassion instead of with our own incorrect self-view that we have. And surrounding you in every direction and filling all of space are all living beings, all the ones you love, the ones you don't love, all the strangers and everything else. And generate love and compassion for them by remembering that they too want happiness and peace of mind and freedom from all problems. And now that you're enlightened, you can help them. So at your heart are a lotus and a moon, and they're standing upright around the circumference of the moon, and reading clockwise are the syllables of the mantra, Tayata Om Muni Muni, Maha Muni Svaha, and the seed syllable Mum stands at the moon's center. And you imagine that rays of light, and this is actually your wisdom, your compassion, emanating from every letter and spread in all directions. You just imagine these rays of light reach the countless sentient beings surrounding you and completely purify them of their obscurations and delusions and fill them with inspiration and strength. So do the best you can. Just imagine this kind of light from your heart coming out from all of those letters, spreading all directions. Tayata Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Esva. Tayata Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Esva. Tayata Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Esva. And when you finish, we think, now I've led all sentient beings to enlightenment, thus fulfilling my intention for doing this meditation. So now you imagine that everybody is in the form of Buddha, and everybody is experiencing bliss and the wisdom of emptiness. So we could be thinking at this point, oh, this is really not really, it's not really real, it's not really happening. But this kind of meditation is what they call bringing the future result into the present path. And by doing it, by practicing it, we create the cause for our own Buddhahood, our own enlightenment. And also it helps us develop conviction in our own innate potential and what we are capable of doing. It's not that far out. It's possible. We just have to do a bit of work. And we'll definitely accomplish one day. So let's just dedicate all the positive energy we've created doing the meditation this morning. Dedicate to all those people of our life. It seems to be I can't stop sharing. Can't undo the share. Okay, you have to just look at Buddha for a while. And just dedicate for all those people of your life. There we go. And for yourselves as we move along our spiritual path. Have a wonderful day and lots of love. Nice to see you all. Thank you for coming. And I'll see some of you this evening. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.